Hello everyone, welcome to this OPC script series. This is third video, and in this video we are going to create a function that will retrieve all the information from any workbook dynamically. That's what we are going to retrieve from the workbook and log worksheet scope name range. So let's get started, and I would suggest you to watch my previous video if you haven't watched those yet. This is the sample script, okay, read name range, and I'm going to create a function to retrieve all of this. So function get named range details, that's my function name. I'm expecting a workbook of excel script.workbook type, and I'll return a string of 2D array actually. Okay, so I'll just put the information that constant named range details, and I'll initialize this with this. Okay, so we get this initial step ready. Okay, at the end we are just going to return this name range details. If its length is just equal to 1, then we want to return an empty array, but if it's more than 1, then we want to return name range details. Okay, basically what we are saying that if it's only one length, that means we only have the header, so I don't want to return anything if it's just the header, if we don't have any name range. Okay, so this is how we are going to just return this data. Now we need to do the coding, right? So at first we are going to retrieve data which is scope to workbook. So retrieve workbook scope data. So for current name of workbook.getNames, this will return me a collection of name range, right? So you can see, if you look at this, it says named array, like represent a collection of workbook scope named item. So we get this. What we are going to say that named range details dot push, we are going to push all the data into this array. So what are the data? We need name, right? So that is going to be current name dot get name. The next one is scope. So this is scope to workbook, so I can just hard code this actually, I don't need to call that method. Visibility, so that is going to be current name dot visibility. Okay, get visible. Now the next one is formula, so current name dot get formula, and then next one is current name dot get comment. Okay, now this is what we are adding into this array for each of the name range. Now you can see that it's putting a red line. It says that type boolean is not assignable to type string, and that's because we are saying that the return value will be a string of 2D array, and in this section it's figuring out from this as well. So how can we fix this is in two ways. We can use like toString method on this, that way we can fix that. So that's one way. So if I just run this, okay, get name range details, let's just get rid of all of this code. I'll just say console.log and workbook. If I just pass this and save this script and then run this, then you can see we have 9 array. Okay, so you can see name, scope, visible, formula, and comment. And you can see this underscore excel fn1, those are built in, so I'll get rid of them very soon. Okay, but you can see this is my name, this is workbook, this is a true, but you can see that the true is under this double quotes, right, because that's a string. So if you want to see the true actually as a true, so we can modify this return value to be either a string or it will be a boolean. Okay, now if I just change this, that this is going to be either a string or boolean of array. Now if I just say this, okay, in that case I can get rid of this toString, and you will see that it's not throwing that red line again. Now if I just run this, I get the same info, but you can see the true is as actually true instead of a string. Okay, so that's how we can use in an operator, like it could be a string or it could be a boolean. Okay, so you can see, if you look at this, then you will see that we are getting these different name ranges, but if you try to figure out if we have that locally scoped one, then you will see that we don't have that locally scoped one yet. Okay, because that's not what we are retrieving at the moment. So what I will do, I'll just add one more validation that it's need to be a custom name range, like we have created that name range instead of that underscore excel fn. If you run this again, you can see this one that it says underscore excel fn. For the next one it says underscore excel fn. So I want to get rid of them, this underscore excel pm or fn. So how can we do this? Is just like this. I can just add a condition that if current name dot get name, this is going to return a string, it starts with, if it just start with excel, then I want to continue. Okay, I don't want to add that, or I don't want to execute this part of the code. Now if I just run this code again, we can see instead of 9 item we only have 5 item at the moment, and you can see we don't have that underscore excel part again, right? So if you just see this, then you can see that, and this is that, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to add the same condition. You can see this is that list of name item. This is an array, it's returning an array, and we need the same kind of looping here again. It will be a little bit different. So workbook dot get worksheet dot for each, sorry, get worksheets, it will return an array, I guess, array of worksheets, yes. And for each worksheet, so current sheet, I'm going to call this same kind of function, okay, like this. So instead of workbook, it will be current sheet, nothing changed, the same thing, okay. We're just saying that instead of workbook, retrieve all the name range for this particular worksheet. Now if I just run this again, I'll see 6 output, and the last one is that local scope name range 1, okay. So you can see I'm duplicating codes here, right? Like you can see this code is duplicated just here. So what I can do, I can create another function, update named range details, let's say. That's my function name. So what I'm saying that what this will get is all the named range array. So that will be all named item, and this will be of excel script dot named item array. So that's first parameter. Next parameter is scope name. Scope name, that is of string, and to array, that is going to be of type this one, okay, and it will return nothing. It's just adding in the same array, right? As we are passing this array, it will be passed by reference, okay. So what I will do, I'll just copy this same code and I'll put it here, and I'll just change these references. This will be that, and then add to array will be this, and instead of hard-coded workbook, it will be scope name, and that's it. Now how can I use this is just by changing in this section, that call this function and pass workbook dot get names. That's the first parameter. The second parameter is just hard coding workbook, and then third parameter is add to array, that is named range d. So I don't need this part, so I'll get rid of that, and then I need to call this function again here, but instead of workbook it will be current sheet, and this will be current sheet dot get name and name range details. That's it. Now that's all, okay. Now if I just run this again, we'll get the same 6 output, but you'll see the last one is scoped to this sheet 2, right? That's how we are creating a dynamic function that will return all the details of all the name range from this particular workbook. That's it for this video. In the next video, we are going to categorize this name range, like if it's a lambda or not, if it's referencing a range like this one, or this is one that is referencing a lambda. This is a lambda type. This is another type. This is referencing a range, and actually a spill range. And then we have this one, it's a hard-coded value, and then we have this one which is referencing a range addresses, right? And we have this one which is a local scope. So we can categorize this name range into multiple categories, like if it's a lambda, or if it's referencing a dynamically spill range, or if it's a hard-coded value, or if it's referencing a range area. Okay, so that's how we can categorize, and I'll show you how to do that in my next video. If you have any question, feel free to comment, and don't forget to subscribe and share this content in your community. Have a good day.